Go ahead.
It suddenly dawns on the party that they haven't checked their mail in a long while.
Not wanting to put down the latest tome, she has been, let's call it studying. Tassra sends her loyal companion Moondrop out to fetch the mail. Clusters of students part before her like the Red Sea because no one wants to get on the buff goat's bad side.
Moondrop, after doing 4 flexes and suplexing one student who looked at her funny, finds a small package, roughly 8 inches long and 4 inches tall, in Tassra's mailbox.
Moondrop retrieves the package and turns it over in her hands cautiously. With the fate of Merlinus still fresh in her mind, she sniffs it cautiously for the scent of gunpowder or anything similar.
Tassra's package is, as far as she can tell, entirely mundane.
The goat shrugs her massive shoulders and marches on back to Tassra's lair in the library. Sequestered amongst the books, they examine the package closely. Tassra attempts to detect magic or poison on the mysterious box, but without finding any alarming results, she carefully cuts it open with her skinning knife.
Inside Tassra's box is an ancient locket, the back of which is made from carved blue dragon scale. She recognizes it as an heirloom from the lead shaman of her kobold tribe. It is accompanied by a letter. Tassra, a traveler at the Raven's Rest was looking for you, claiming that this was intended for your keeping. I tried to press her for more information, but she refused to elaborate, only saying that she had news of your tribe. I figured the least I could do was send it to you as soon as possible. Warm regards, Umlaut Schwa. The third.
Tassra's eyes go wide as the realization hits her. She turns the locket over, shaking hands, before attempting to put it around her neck. She fumbles with the clasp, and Moondrop moves to assist her. The smaller hoof hands easily securing the locket with surprising ability. The kobold excitedly stuffs the letter in her coat pocket and rises to her feet, knocking over a wayward ink pot in the process, before darting out of her little nook. Moondrop's hoof lands squarely in the puddle as she leaves, trailing black hoof marks all the way across the library. As she passes Virka on the way, she whispered, "Something is happening, and I need to speak with you. Meet me in the common room after I retrieve Ari."
Meanwhile, Ari has wandered down to the mailroom after seeing everyone else do so, not particularly expecting anything, but figuring why the hell not.
In Ari's mailbox, there is a coupon for The Tunnel of Terror, an amusement park ride that will be opening soon as the fair approaches. It gives a discount for a parent accompanying the tunnel with their child.
Tassra pauses as she passes by Ari. "Something's come up. Get your mail and meet me in the common room. I need your help," before continuing down the hallway with a sense of urgency.
Aw, that's sweet. I wonder who gave us this. And then Ari's ear twitches as Tassra whirls by in a tizzy.
Alright. Tassra Virka...
I was going to do Howard's bit so Virka could react to it, but okay.
Oh. I mean, go ahead.
Hey, dead friend buddy!
Virka waves to Howard. Nope, bro.
No, you're fine.
Virka waved to Howard when he passed by, before hurrying over to meet Tassra.
Okay, she's clearly got more interesting mail than I did. And then she follows Tassra to the common room.
And we're on the other Word document by this point, probably?
Should be, yes.
Maybe? Oh, wait, there's some stuff here, too.
No, that's for after everybody's done with their mail.
Oh, okay.
Tassra stands at the window in the common area, anxiously fidgeting with the amulet at her chest that none of the others can quite see. Moondrop is leaning against the wall a few feet away, unintentionally inspiring others in the area to give them a wide berth for whatever the little kobold wishes to discuss.
You had another little part there.
I know, I mostly just wrote that because I was waiting. I was like, come on!
I'm sorry. After leaving the package in her room, Virka tries to hurry to meet Tassra without running through the hall.
Moondrop nods as Virka approaches, and Tassra spins on her heel to face her kin, smiling, but the smile immediately falls and her face contorts into puzzlement. We're We're going to see some people. Don't you want to put on your proper vestments?
Well, my other vestments are a bit ruined. Virka awkwardly smiles, fidgeting with her claws.
What, that little hole? I've patched this old thing way worse than that, she declares, gesturing to the many bits of odd cloth that have been added to her ratty cloak over the years. Besides, the Scalekin should see your beautiful wings when you enter the room.
But it keeps them warm and safe, she mutters before shifting the spread her wings from under the shawl. Suppose I could take it off.
Tassra chews her lips and scans her sister's features. She hadn't expected her to be so disappointed. To the young witch, clothes were purely utilitarian. She had no real attachment to anything but her mask. Well, I mean, if it's keeping them safe. Okay, to be perfectly honest, we may be meeting someone from my past, and I kinda wanted to show off. Hey, see how far I've come? I'm aligned with an arbiter of Gotham's will, or something. It's the idea. I'm just nervous.
Well, I mean, I could make a whole scene and throw the shawl off, showing off my wings. Would you like that?
No, it's fine. The more I think about it, the goofier it seems. I just need to be calm and collected, like usual. That's what he'd be expecting anyway, right?
He? Virka tilted her head before shifting some. Who is he, exactly?
It's probably best to wait until Ari gets here so I don't have to give the whole story twice. Suffice to say, it's someone important.
Virka nods before finding a place to settle and sit down.
Tassra resumes her restless vigil at the window while Moondrop moves silently from her place to sit next to Virka. A towering goat creature gives a soft hug for no discernible reason beyond affection.
Virka is stiff for a moment in the large goat's arms, but relaxes and then pets Moondrop. One of the only non-scale creatures that she doesn't seem to be mind being touched by.
Tassra perks up again as Moondrop silently informs her that their comrade has arrived. She turns around with a wry smile. There you are. I was starting to worry you got lost somehow.
Ari pads into the room, apologetic. Sorry, I was on my way when I realized that Talia might not think to check her mail because she probably doesn't know what mail is. Then I ran into Ayara and she had something to ask me.
It's alright. I thank you for joining me nonetheless. The cheekiness leaves her grin, becoming more sincere. So, the package I received was passed along by Umlaut, and included a very particular heirloom from my home clan. She pulls the intricately carved dragon scale from beneath her shirt, letting the others see it before returning it to the spot over her heart. Our shaman from all those years ago, the one who taught me pretty much everything I know, has been trying to track me down and currently waits at some place called Raven's Rest.
Oh, the Raven's Rest is what the Waltzing Wyvern was called before we bought it.
Tassra nods slowly, pondering what the story behind that pause might be, deciding it's a tale for another day. That simplifies things considerably. Still, would you be willing to join me when I go to meet my mentor? I wouldn't be here today without him or any of you. I really want him to be proud of me. I figure if he saw I finally stopped being such a loner, well, what do you say?
Ari looks at her shrewdly and with faint teasing. Are you showing us off?
Sort of. He was always trying to get me to talk to other people instead of just my friend in the stars, and I think he would want me to see, so he knows that someone is looking after me.
Ari grins a little but nods. Yeah, I'll be happy to come with you. It seems important to you, so of course I will.
I would be honored, Tassra. Virka smiles with a nod. And I wouldn't mind showing off my wings.
She takes a deep breath to steady her nerves before withdrawing her teleportation amulet. She looks to each of them in turn. Shall we then?
Ready when you are, sister.
After you.
The familiar tug grips them as space bends beneath the weight of the arcane. In a flash, the quiet of the dorm room is replaced with the din of raucous tavern-goers. Tassra stays close to her friends while Moondrop rises above the teeming masses of kobolds and scans the area for a familiar face.
Ari greets her bartender and the disguised lizard folk cheerfully, asking how they are.
We're all right.
Damn it!
Good.
Sorry about that.
Virka sticks close to Tassra, not feeling too uncomfortable in the tavern, but mostly knowing her wings could attract more attention than she wants.
You're
Tassra
up.
scans the room for what feels like hours, but she cannot find her mentor. She does, however, find one familiar face. Another member of her tribe, a sickly green-scaled kobold who was the youngest apprentice under the old shaman. It seems the time she spent away from her tribe has not helped her overcome her shyness, as she is trying to disappear into the wall like she always has in large gatherings.
Tassra excitedly grabs the closest companion's claw and pulls them along with her as she weaves through the crowds. She tries to approach from the front as to not accidentally induce a heart attack in her old broodmate. "Long time no see," she calls out with a wide grin over the din of the birds.
Oh, thank Gotchmore and Gornir, it's you, Tassra!
Ari follows Tassra and Virka sedately, vaguely amused by the way the smaller kobold has towed the taller Wyverian through the crowd.
Seeing Tassra's companions, including a stunning Wyvern and a rather intimidating cat, human, a cat person, whatever one calls that species, the green kobold shrinks against the wall and slowly moves closer to Tassra for support. Who are they?
Virka gives a gentle wave and a smile, recognizing the divine nature.
They're the two people I trust more than anyone else in the world. Neither is going to hurt. Quite the opposite, actually. They've saved my sorry scales on more than one occasion. This here is Virka, and she gestures towards the Wyvern she'd been towing around and immediately realizes she's still holding their claw, releasing it. And this lovely lady goes by Ari.
Good morrow to you.
Tassra, our mentor has died.
Tassra winces at the news and hesitates before stepping forward, gently embracing her jittery little sister. He at least go peacefully.
We don't know how it happened exactly. He had an argument with Kavra earlier in the day and about how the tribe should move forward, and stormed off to his chambers, demanding to be left in solitude. And the next morning, we found him dead. The gravekeeper says it was his head, but some of us aren't sure. Or rather, his heart, William, misreading your own writing. The kobold shuffles her feet uncomfortably. The amulet, he never said, but I know he would have wanted you to have it. You were his favorite pupil, and I don't think it should go to anyone else, so I took it here. The tribe's changed since you left. It keeps changing, and I don't know I want to be there anymore.
Ari notices that this is a very uncomfortable time and a very nervous kobold, so she taps Tassra on the shoulder and gestures up the stairs to the private rooms.
Tassra's eyes go wide at the news, and words abandon her. She glances over at Ari and gives a subtle nod, guiding their visitor towards the stairs and up to their usual dwelling space. She sneaks out the dining area, up and away from prying eyes, before pulling out a seat for their guest, and then takes one for herself. I've never known him to be the angry sort. Even when we were being little devils he tried to be fair. What did she do to get him so riled up?
Kavra wants the tribe to be more active in combating the mammal's oppression. She wants us to militarize, to raid. Master was against it. He said that was the way of the dull dragons, that we follow the shining path.
Violence like that don't only lead to worse things.
But times have been tough, and Kavra made some convincing points. Master was livid.
Ari shakes her head, frowning. Violence like that does lead to worse things. Virka is right.
Tassra nods faintly. She's always been a little, I don't know, aggressive? But you don't think she'd actually raise a hand against another kobold, do you?
I didn't say I agree! I don't think... Kavra claims kobold lives are sacred, and we need the Master. No one else is even near his level of magics, especially since you left.
Ari crouches down, bringing herself closer to the ground but moving away from the small green kobold, trying to calm her by not looming so much, privately wondering at being seen as looming in the first place.
Hey, it's okay. They're not against you, just offering their own viewpoints. If I've learned anything from this blasted island, it's that having another perspective can provide unique insights. Don't worry, no matter what happens, I'm not going to let anything hurt you. Understand?
I'm very sorry. I just don't want another kobold tribe to be in danger like that.
The green kobold looks to Tassra, keeping her eyes low. How can you be so brave?
Because someone has to be. We always turn to the dragons to save us from the horrors of the world, but for the first time in history, the kobolds need to save the dragons. She turns her steely gaze back towards her kin, and deep in her eyes. There are so many people, not just kobolds, other beast folk, even the monsters who live in fear every hour of every day. No one else is coming to save them, so I have to do something, even if I'm scared to.
For a moment, the kobold is silent, looking at Tassra with wide-eyed wonder. But eventually, reluctantly, she nods in agreement. Kavra knows we need a new shaman. I wasn't up to it, so now she's looking for you.
Does Kavra realize I'm even more stubborn than our mentor ever was? She shakes her head, another chuckle rising in her throat. I truly am flattered, and I would be happy to lend advice when I can. She waves her arms around towards her comrades. I'm needed here, at least for the time being. Gotchmore set me on this path, and I intend to see it through, come hell or high water.
Kavra is increasingly intolerant of being told no. She's found using force to get her way works more and more. The other tribe members are falling into line with her way of thinking. She may not give you the choice.
Virka frowns before letting out a heavy sigh and shaking her head.
That is not the way of a leader. Leaders set examples others want to follow, not force them to fall in line.
That's concerning. Despite her horror at what's being described, Tassra cannot help but feel the instinctual tug to defend her clan's actions, no matter how ludicrous. She swallows it. If you go back there without me, is she going to hurt you?
The green kobold curls into a ball on the floor. I can't go back. I wasn't supposed to leave. I wasn't supposed to take the amulet.
Virka places a hand on Tassra's shoulder. Is there a way we can make sure she's safe here?
I was thinking the same thing. Sounds to me like you've got a fair bit of courage yourself. There are few who would have the strength of heart to break away from a tyrant like that, and to actively defy her by taking something and doing what you feel is right. I mean, I'll be honest, I am impressed. She turns to Ari. We have a free room, yeah? I mean, even if we don't, she can stay in mine. I don't really need all that much space.
Ari nods immediately. Yeah, there's a fairly nice one up a floor. She can stay as long as she likes.
Perfect. She turns back and offers a hand to help Yak off the ground. You can rest easy here. The security is excellent, and you'll always have Gotchmore's finest champions close at hand. Actually, I learned a spell recently that I should start putting up. This place will be as unassailable as any fortress.
Gak does her best to smile, but her jawline has been set in a perpetual panicked frown for so much of her life that the muscles actually are kind of unused to the experience. Thank you, Tassra. I'm sorry I have such ill news.
That's not your fault. You've done well to bring it to me. Knowledge is powerful.
Gak nods, but continues to lay in a curled ball on the floor.
Ari looks at the little kobold with a small frown on her face. Would it make you more comfortable, Ari says to Gak as softly as she can, if I left the room?
Gak's bulging eyes look up to the mammal addressing her. Thoughts of everything she's learned about interacting with mammals flood her brains. She can't call anything specific to cat people, but she assumes the rules must be the same. A mammal's presence is always a comfort.
Ari
Flattery.
quietly... Go ahead.
Flattery, of course, is a kobold's first retort in all so awkward social situations.
Ari quietly shakes her head. You don't have to pretend that I don't make you nervous here. I would sooner throw myself out that window than hurting you for say-so.
She's not lying about that. This is a strange group of people, I assure you.
Gak's eyes dart back and forth. A friend of Tassra is a friend of Gak. A good kobold never jeopardizes a more clever kobold's crafty alliance with foolish thoughts.
Tassra ignores the concentrated essence of smugness radiating from her familiar at the mammal comment and kneels down very close. Her voice is very soft, and it's difficult for anyone but Gak. You remember what happened to our little brother way back when? The cougar incident.
Horror is written on Gak's face as she slowly nods.
I've done a lot of thinking about that day, and I realize something. The memory replaying in those night terrors. One night I noticed just how thin that cat was. She was starving just like we were then. And the reason we couldn't find his body is probably because she brought him back to her cubs. I know that sounds gruesome. Find it in a way reassuring. That day was tragic, and I don't think I'll ever be free of it, but she was just like us. Scared and hungry, being forced to scrounge in places far from home because she'd lost her original friends. I try to remember that. Even if someone seemed different and scary, they're likely fighting the same struggles as you in one way or another, and they might all need someone's help.
But, it ate him, though.
She did, but that was because she was in the exact same situation we were. If the tables were turned and we killed her, it would be a feast and we would celebrate, but those cubs would grow up as orphans, angry and hungry. Our world will remain entrapped in the same cycles until we learn empathy and forgiveness. When we act out of fear, vengefulness, mistrust, it feeds back into itself. I know this is confusing, but it's just something I want you to think of, okay? Even if our friends seem very different from us, they're on our side.
I will consider your wisdom, Tassra.
That's the spirit. Now let's get you situated. I assure you, consideration and cowering are both done better when you are more comfortable. She rises to her feet and extended a claw to help Gak once more.
Gazra accepts her hand and follows Tassra's lead.
Tassra leads her little sister upstairs to the room Ari had mentioned and helps her get comfortable. She brings in one of Gotchmore's wooden sculptures and some candles to brighten the atmosphere, along with showing Gak how the locks work. With everything said and done, she gives the little green kobold one more tight embrace. When I left, I really didn't think I'd ever see any of Clan Vasov again. Even if the circumstances are dire, it's still really nice to see you once again.
I am glad I found you.
Before letting go, she infuses Gak with the warding hex. The spell makes the shadows around her person flicker ever so slightly before settling down. My magic will keep you safe, and if you ever get hurt, I'll know. And if you have an emergency and you need me back right away, she plucks a sewing needle from the fabric of one of her sleeves and holds it out. Prick your finger with this. No matter what's happening, I'll be back here in a heart. I promise. And with that, the young witch slips out of the room to rendezvous with her comrades, a warm smile.
Gak holds the needle close to her heart and lies down on the bed.
The end.
Aw, that's nice.